Everyone, we're gonna visit our favorite friend. Aren't you excited?
Showing ID before you vote is no big deal. Everyone has ID, right?
Is she implying that minorities don't have ID? And also, it's not showing ID is not a big deal. You have to prove you're an American citizen when you're voting, you idiot. You're gonna walk in, I don't have any ID, I don't have anything on me. May I just vote still? What are you, fucking stupid? Also, they have to see who has voted already to not vote. You need ID, yes, you do. Are you implying that minorities do not have ID, therefore racism? I think you are. I haven't even watched your video and I'm already angry. If AIDS had an intro, that would be it.
In case you haven't noticed, the presidential election is almost here.
In case you haven't noticed, it's non-stop on the news. People are like, who would you vote for? I don't care anymore. It's been happening for this is like Batman versus Superman when they promoted it for like a year and a half. And by when it came out, I'm like, fuck that movie.
Soon, everybody can go to the polls and cast their ballots to decide the fate of America.
I like how she's showing everyone walking to the polls and they're all white. Wait, hang on. There's a black person at the end.
Well, almost everybody.
Oh, never mind. Old Grandma Jemima cannot vote right now.
Since 2008, 10 states have successfully implemented strict voter ID laws that are meant to prevent voter fraud, but in reality, make it harder for a lot of people to vote.
So you're telling me 10 states have made a law. I like how you say that, like, people. Like you're not throwing in race just yet. You're cock teasing the race thing. You're like, yeah, people. And you're like, what kind of people?
3 of them make you show either a photo ID, like a driver's license, or non-photo ID, like a bill with your name on it.
God forbid they ask for ID before you vote.
Before you can vote at the polls. The other 7 will only let you vote if you have a photo ID.
In Canada, when you get the thing in the mail for you to vote, when you show up, you need to show ID. That's all of Canada. And no one is crying racism. So what the fuck are you talking about, Francesca? Also, America has a lot of illegal immigrants fucking pouring in from Mexico. So now you're giving them the opportunity to vote illegally? And you know they're gonna vote for Hillary no matter what because they don't want that wall.
So why have these laws popped up recently? Well, in theory, they prevent voters from impersonating someone else.
In theory, no. They do prevent someone from impersonating someone else. Just fixing up your video there.
That way we can all feel confident in the accuracy of the election process without worrying that some kid is sneaking into the polls wearing mustache glasses. Yo, fake IDs, vote twice.
Whenever I see her attempt a joke, it kills comedy inside. Like, I can't watch stand-up for like a month when I hear Francesca say a joke.
But here's the thing. The kind of fraud voter ID laws claim to prevent practically never happens. In fact, a report concluded that voter impersonation is rarer than being struck by lightning.
Wait, they practically never happen because they ask for ID. If they didn't ask for ID, it might happen. Do you see how you are retarded?
Good old-fashioned voter suppression with a dash of racism and classism for good measure. Requiring voters to have ID seems like a harmless precaution until you realize the majority of people lacking ID are either elderly, poor, and aren't white.
What? Then get your ID! If you're legally in America, you can get some sort of ID. To all the black people who watch my channel, do you have ID? Answer the question, yes or no. I'd love to read. I'd love to read the amount of black people who don't have ID.
And frequently, they're all 3. Statistically, African American and Latinx voters are much less likely than white voters to have the qualifying IDs required by states with voter ID laws.
But you can get the ID. You can get it. It's your right as an American citizen. Does that mean that, are you saying that minorities, black people and Latin American are just lazy to get their ID? Because if that's what you're saying, then all right, get your fucking ID if you want to vote. If you don't want to vote, then don't. How do you live without ID? How do you live without ID?
They're also disproportionately likely to be low income. Even when a state offers free photo ID, these residents may not be able to afford the underlying documents, transportation, or time required to get one.
Then that's your fucking fault. Too bad. You can't take a fucking bus to get your free ID? That's just laziness. That's your fault. It's no one else's fault. It's not racism. No one's like black people cannot vote. This was no underlying thing of racism. There was nothing. They were just like, we should have people prove they're American. Done!
Many Republicans pushing for voter ID claim the laws have nothing to do with race or class. But in 2013, North Carolina County Precinct GOP Chair Don Yelton told The Daily Show that if the state's new voter ID rule hurts a bunch of lazy blacks who just want the government to give them everything, so be it.
Good, you found a racist person, took his quote, and are using it as the entire basis of making it a law where you have to show ID. Good job. Why do I look for Sensei Ashaitmu talking about what she thinks about white people? Or the few other black people that I'll be talking about on this channel in the next few days, ask them what they think about white people. Why don't I just take that and go, this is what black people think about white people. Every black. Wouldn't that be a little bit nitpicking?
Voter ID laws are a classic example of structural racism, which is what makes racism different from prejudice. Prejudice is the individual dislike of a class of people based on a superficial characteristic or stereotype. Racism is racial prejudice plus structural oppression and power that negatively impacts a group.
So what about those white people who don't have IDs, like you were talking about, the poor ones who don't have time? What about them? Wait, they're being targeted just like minorities in your opinion? Then where the fuck is the racism, you fuck? Classism? Maybe I'll give that to you. Maybe. But a lot of people who don't have money, who I know in America, who are struggling, have ID.
Structural racism often exists in the form of policies or laws that may or may not seem overtly racist, but ultimately cause negative consequences for people of color.
No, you're trying to find the racism. Again, you're trying to find the racism in absolutely everything. You make me sick, Francesca.
Pop quiz. What's the best way to make sure racist laws stay on the books and new rules aren't put into place? Ooh, I know, make it really difficult for people of color to vote.
How is it racist to have ID to fucking vote? What do you want people to do? Walk in and go, trust me, I'm American. You idiot. You have to show photo ID to prove you're an American citizen and you're not voting twice, you fuck. How? It's your fault if you don't have an ID. It's your fault. None of this says that black people can't vote.
After the Civil War, the 15th Amendment...
Okay, I'm not even... She's just throwing out... After this... When you hear after the Civil War, that's when I end the video. That's when I end the fucking video. Why isn't she showing some black and white photos, by the way? Because I love watching black and white photos when we're referencing 2016. Like she always does on this fucking racist show. Decoded, go fuck yourself, you whiny little bitch. Why don't you go and hug your white husband, Francesca, and tell him how much you hate white people. You fucking dummy. You're a dummy. By the way, everyone, thank you for supporting the channel. The channel's growing immensely thanks to you. Support on Patreon. I'll put the link down there. You can donate. Thank you for everyone who's donating. And follow me on Twitch. Links are all down there. And Twitter. And I've been interacting with people on Twitch and Twitter constantly now. And I love it. And I hope you're enjoying the daily videos. Love you all and peace. Except I don't like Francesca Ramsey.